Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillah. We're back in Surah as-Sajdah, ayah number 9, on this 9th night of Ramadan. In the previous few days, we had been speaking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His creation of mankind. He says, الَّذِي أَحْسَنَ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقَهُ وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين وبدأ خلق الإنسان من طين. The one who did excellent towards his creation and his creation of them. He did well in creating them. And he began with the creation of mankind from clay. ثم جعل نسله من سلالة من ماء مهين. And then he made his offspring from semen, which is from a despicable fluid. Here Allah Azza wa Jalla says, ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه. And then he fashioned him. ثم سواه. Then he fashioned him. Sawa, yusawi, to fashion. ثم سواه. Then he fashioned him. وَنَفَخَ فِيهِ. وَنَفَخَ, to blow. فِيهِ, in him. مِن رُوحِهِ, from his soul. But that's not a good translation. We'll get there in a second. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. And then he made for you all sam'a. Ja'ala, he made, lakum, for you all, as-sam'a, hearing, wal-absara, and sight, wal-af'ida, and hearts. Hearts. قَلِيلًا, little, ma tashkurun, little do you thank, little are you thankful or grateful. ثم سواه ونفخ فيه من روحه. Then he fashioned him and he breathed into him from his soul. We said from his soul. He breathed into him his soul. The meaning here is he breathed into him his soul, meaning Adam. Or min ruhihi, from his soul, meaning Allah's soul that he owns. Not from him himself, but from the soul that he created and owns, he breathed it into him. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. And he created for you hearing and seeing or sight and hearts with which to reflect. The meaning of af'ida is hearts here, but where you reflect. The singular being fuad. 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 Here, af'ida, the plural. قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Little is it that you give thanks. Little is it you are grateful. Tashkurun. From shakara. Yashkuru, to give thanks, to be grateful. ثُمَّ سَوَى. Then, sawa, yusawi, he fashioned, to give shape to something. وَنَفَخَ, and breathed, fihi, in him, min ruhihi, from his soul. وَجَعَلَ, and he made, lakum, for you all, as-sam'a, hearing, wal-absara, and sight, wal-af'ida, and hearts with which to reflect. قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Little is it that you are thankful or give thanks or are grateful. طيب. Inshallah, the meaning is clear. Sawa, if you want to look it up, Sin Wow, Alif Maksura. Everything else seems to be clear, I believe. You're going to look up Afida, Fa, Wow, Dal. طيب. ثم حرف عطف. It is a connecting word. لترتيب, showing order. Showing an order of information, in order of what's going on, not necessarily in order of a ruling or anything, right? Going back to bada'a thumma, so he began thumma bada'a khalq al-insani min tin, he created he began the creation of mankind from tin. Thumma sawahu, as we will see. Sawa, from Sin, Wow, Aleph, Maksura. This is form 2, meaning to fashion something, to shape it, to mold it, to give it a form. It's Mabni al Fath Muqaddara, because this is not there, right? This is not there, Sawa. And even if it was there, you would not be able to see it because of a thaqal, because of the difficulty, the thickness on the tongue. Sawa, the fa'il, is الضمير مستتر تقديره هو, and the ha here صواه, the ha here is في محل نصب مفعول به. He fashioned what? He fashioned him. ونفخ, wa is حرف عطف. نفخ is في الماضي مبني على فتحة. The fa'il is ضمير مستتر تقديره هو. ونفخ فيه جار ومجرور. من روحه, من روحي is also jar, حرف jar. من روحي اسم مجرور, and the ha here is في محل jar مضاف إليه. وجعل, واو is حرف عطف. جعل في الماضي فاعل ضمير مستتر تقديره هو. لكم is jar ومجرور. ثم جعل لكم, right? لكم جار ومجرور. السمع is مفعول به منصوب. و حرف عطف. الأبصار معطوف على سمع منصوب. واو حرف عطف. الأفئدة مثل الأبصار معطوف على السمع ومفعول به منصوب. So سمع والأبصار والأفئدة. طيب. قليلا, قليلا is one of two possibilities. It's a na'ib maf'ul mutlaq mansub وعامله تشكرون أي شكرا قليلا, meaning a little bit of thanks. Or na'ib and a dharf mansub أي زمنا or زمان قليلا. Subhanallah. And this leads us to the tafsir as well. So qalilan could be a na'ib and maf'ulun mutlaq, right? And its amil is tashkurun. Tashkuruna qalilan. You give thanks a little bit. Or it's a na'ib and a dharf meaning zamanan qalilan. Tashkurunan or tashkuruna qalilan zamanan. And we're going to go through that in the Tafsir, inshallah. قليلا ما تشكرون ما is زائدة لتوقيد القلة. The ma here is meant to emphasize how little. قليلا ما تشكرون. How little is it that you give thanks? How little is it that you are grateful? تشكرون is a فعل مضارع مرفوع بالضمة لاتصاله بواو الجماعة, because of the واو الجماعة, and the واو الجماعة is في محل رفع فاعل. That's your grammar of this ayah. And as we said, that led into some of the tafsir. So after Allah Azza wa Jal created mankind, created Adam from clay, and then he made him in the best of creation as well, as we said, أحسن كل شيء خلقه جعل الله خلقا مستويا مستقيما معتدلا. Allah Azza wa Jal, he made a creation which was straight and balanced. وَجَعَلَ فِيهِ الرُّوحِ, and he placed in it a soul. فَصَارَ حَيًّا, so it became alive. وَنَفَخَ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِهِ, meaning he breathed into a soul and it became alive. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. Allah Azza wa Jal, he blessed us and he favored us with hearing so that we can hear sounds, with sight so that we can see visions or things in front of us, and بِالْأَفْئِدَةِ لِتُدْرِكُوا بِهَا الْمَعْقُولَاتِ, so that we could grasp those things which are ma'qul, those things which are understood, things which are intelligible. قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ, as we said in the translation, وَالْأَفْئِدَةِ, and hearts that you may realize and contemplate and reflect upon the truth. Not the heart that beats in the chest and pumps blood up like this, but afida, those hearts that can contemplate and reflect and realize. Then Allah Azza wa Jal says, قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ, little is it with the blessings of Allah that He has given us, are we thankful. And this qalilan, if it is in the position of being na'ib on the maf'ul mutlaq, then it means we don't give thanks much. We don't give thanks much, meaning not often do we give thanks. And if it has to do with the zaman, the time, then we give thanks for a little bit and then we stop. So either when we give thanks, we don't really give thanks. Yeah, okay, shukran, thanks. Or we forget about them. And some of the scholars say when you say qalilan ma, it can mean never. Like you never are grateful. You never are grateful. Qalilan ma, little do you do something, meaning you never do it. And some of the mufassirun went to that position. You never give thanks. And some of them say qalilan ma tashkurun, meaning you say thanks, but then that's it. You don't go and say more than that. You don't do more than that. You just say thanks. And some of them say, okay, you do it for a short time. Maybe you go overboard. You not overboard, but you exaggerate. You say, Jazakallah, thank you, oh Allah. Without you, we couldn't do it. And you say a lot, but then after that, you stop. So all of this is included. Either you don't give it at all, or you give a little bit, or maybe you give a lot at one time, but then you don't do it much afterwards. ثُمَّ سَوَاهُ. Then he created, or he fashioned and formed him. And many of them say this goes back to Adam. Or even if it goes back to Naslahu, his offspring. Then he fashioned them and breathed into them from his soul. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ. And he made for you hearing and sight and hearts to reflect. قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Little is it, few and far between do you give thanks. This is this ayah. Inshallah ta'ala, we'll come back tomorrow at 10 p.m. or at 9:40 p.m. rather, at 9:40 p.m. Mecca time with the ayat number 10. That's where it came from, with ayat number 10. Our class is every day, 9 p.m. Mecca time, Surah Al-Fajr. One ayat from Surah Al-Fajr. At 9:20, we start the class over and we do one ayat from Surah Al-Mulk. At 9:40, the class begins again with an ayat from Surah As-Sajdah. All three of these surahs have 3 ayat, and so those who want to memorize them and learn them and study them during this month, they can do 1 ayat a day and accomplish something, inshallah ta'ala, tremendous. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.